All right, guys. So I have a stat for you. Did you know the average person consumes more than 126 grams of sugar per day, which is equal to 3 12-ounces of soda per day? That's a lot of sugar. So you guys, I am so excited. We have some guest experts here for our Ask the Expert series. That quote actually came from one of our experts, Rennie, who we're going to chat with in just a moment here. And that quote is actually from Dr. Mercola's site. So we will have all the information below for you guys. You can learn more about that statistic and learn more about some of our tips, tricks, and things like that on how to really just not be addicted to sugar. So you guys, this is a Ask the Expert series. I've had a lot of you guys asking for more of these. One of my most popular videos is actually my Ask the Expert on how to get white blonde hair. And I've had a lot of people asking this. And if you don't remember, I went to journalism school. I have my degree in journalism and marketing. And I love interviewing people. You know, I love sharing tips with you guys, but I also love to pick other true beauties' minds who are also experts in their fields and giving you guys information that you guys really need and want. And if I don't know the answer, finding the right person who can really give you more information. So I'm super psyched about who we have today. It's 2 different partners. They have an amazing background, you guys. They really know their stuff, and they're going to give you different tips on how to not be addicted to sugar and really break free from your sugar leash and have freedom and be happier because of it. So without further ado, you guys, I really want to hear from our experts. I'm sure you guys do too. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, talk a little bit about who they are, their credentials, what their business is all about, what their mission's all about. And let's go ahead and start with Rennie.
Hey everybody, my name is Rennie Grames. I am the co-founder of the Sugarleash program with Kirtley here. I'm a certified health coach, and actually I've spent the last 10 years as a fitness model and working on movies, and I produce commercials. And when I was about 14 years old, I was diagnosed with depression and kind of figured out early on that sugar really affects the way I feel, as well as, of course, the way I look. And was on a mission, have been on a mission for the past 10 years to hack that and to overcome my sugar addiction, and now deal with my depression and anxiety and things like that naturally. So, Kirtley, do you want to take it from there?
Sure. So I'm Kirtley Freckleton, and I'm a registered nurse and certified health coach. And I actually quit my nursing job about 3 years ago to be full-time with health coaching. And a big part of that was I lost 25 pounds on my own and just had the desire to help people find freedom. And so I used to be in the diet trap yo-yo and hated my stomach pooch or whatever and kept on swearing myself off of sugar. When I did that, I'd go binge. And so slowly I found out how to be more intuitive and how to connect my mind and body together. So I understood how I worked more. And so I lost the weight without fixating on my weight, but really learning how to use food and how to eat sugar without going crazy with it. And so that's a little bit about our movement with the Sugarleash that we have, is let's help people find freedom from sugar without willpower or this crazy detoxes or whatever. Let's help them connect with their mind and body so they can love themselves more and understand how they work a little bit better. So
I love that, Kirtley. And I love where you're saying it's beyond some of the fads and things like that. Because, you know, people will ask me all the time, like, how did you lose 40 pounds after having your daughter or whatever it is? And I'm like, you know, it's a mindset. It's a belief, and I kind of switched my mind frame from unhealthy to healthy. So you guys, this is one reason why I really wanted to interview these two, because they really do get it. It's not just about the latest and greatest thing or the hot fad. It's really about, you know, going deeper and understanding, you know, why you're addicted to sugar, or understanding why you're gaining weight, you know, on maybe an emotional level. We all know about emotional eating. So thanks for sharing that, Kirtley, because that's really powerful. And same thing for you, Rennie. I did not know that you dealt with depression at, you know, I think you said age 14. Is that right, Rennie?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I was struggling as early as age 10, but I was formally diagnosed at 14. So.
Wow, that's you know, pretty powerful. And I think a lot of our viewers, I know I've had a lot of people that have messaged me about dealing with anxiety and things like that, and they both go hand in hand. So you guys remember, the body, we're whole beauties, right? the body's all interconnected, holistic beauty. So mind, body, and spirit, when we're helping you with this, it's going to help it with everything. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into our questionnaire, because I know they have some really, really good information for you guys. So, you know, one thing that when I started coming up with the questions here, you guys, I felt like, because I do love dessert and I love, you know, sugar and things like that. Again, I would say I'm somewhat of a sugar addict. Is, you know, I was talking to Renny and I was like, all right, Renny, like, give it to me straight. Like, I want to know beyond weight gain, what are the effects of sugar? You know, what can this do? What I always hear different things I've talked about, you know, or I've heard about how it can affect your mental focus and things like that. So Renny, will you just kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I just want to remind people that the things that we discussed today are intended as general information only. We're not doctors, and it's not intended to be substituted for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So, although Kirtley is a nurse, so
yes.
we've got that behind us. What's really interesting is with that statistic that you talked about in the beginning, with this increase in sugar, they found in this study, despite age, weight, and your gender, this increase of sugar actually increases your chance of developing heart disease by 38%, which is huge. People used to think, used to blame heart disease on fat, and they're actually learning that it's much more about sugar these days. And the same study and articles from Dr. Mercola also said that these things sugar can cause brain fog, type 2 diabetes. It's shown to lead to dementia, such as Alzheimer's, fatty liver disease, because when we eat sugar, it goes straight to your liver, and your liver has to deal with this overload and doesn't know what to do with it. Sugars actually help spread cancer cells and lead to adrenal fatigue. So a lot of people want to quit eating sugar because of weight gain, but really what's more important are these more debilitating diseases that we're finding people are getting as they get older in life and have been increasing their sugar intake over time. And something that's also really interesting to note is that quitting sugar is really hard, right? And it's not just because it tastes good. There's actually scientific reasons and causes for it being addictive. So what happens is when you eat sugar, you experience a dopamine rush in your head, or spike, which creates pleasure. So dopamine is what tells us that ooh, that tastes good, or oh, that felt good, or oh, we want more of that, right? But what happens is that when you have a cookie, you feel really good, but in order for the next time your brain to feel as happy from that cookie, you actually need to have 2 cookies, or eventually 3 cookies. And what that does, is it actually kind of messes with these hormones in your body called leptin and ghrelin. And these are really interesting hormones because leptin actually comes from the word leptos, which means thin, and tells your body when to stop eating. So, but what happens is when you feel full, your leptin is telling your brain, okay, you can stop eating now because I have enough calories in my body, right? But if your brain is saying, oh, I want another cookie because it wants that pleasure, it's actually messing with your leptin signal. And so what happens is you can become leptin resistant, and your body will be confused about when to stop eating. So that's kind of this really interesting way that the addiction kind of overtakes our hormones and messes with our traditional signals in our body that are hey, you're full. You don't need to eat any more of these cookies, or of this salad, or of this, hamburger, whatever we're eating. And what also happens is leptin works in congruence with ghrelin, which is actually our hunger hormone. So ghrelin, I think of it like the gremlins in your stomach that start roaring, it's like, oh, I'm really hungry right now. But if your leptin levels are off, then your ghrelin levels are also going to be off. So this is kind of why sugar is so hard to break free from, is because, first of all, it's just as addictive as heroin or cocaine they found in rats and mice. And it messes with our hormone levels. If you don't know when to stop eating because you're addicted to sugar, then you're going to struggle with when to stop eating and how to and quitting sugar in general. So
That is like so interesting. And then the thing is you hear about, you know, how it can be addicting and all that, but just understanding more of the science behind it, and how it really is addicting. And I think what is the most interesting is the fact that your body is full, but your mind is so addicted to it that you just have to keep on having it like a drug. So I know my husband was reading, you know, because again, we love dessert in this household. We do, you know, we're health nuts. I always joke with my followers that I love my salads. I love my blackened salmon. I love healthy food, but I love my dessert, right? And I've even used the hashtag like dessert addict. And it's so interesting just hearing this, because as you're explaining it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. I'm sure like a lot of our viewers can relate to it. And again, you can still be slim and be in shape, but it can have all these other health, you know, it can wreak havoc on your health basically, which is really scary. So, you know, I know that you have a lot of information about hormones. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Kirtley, or excuse me, Renny, or did that cover most of it with the hormones? Or is there any like thing else that you think the viewers want to hear about that?
Yeah, that covers a lot of it. There's so much that goes into this, you guys. Basically, every time your blood sugar spikes, your insulin and your cortisol levels start being out of whack, and it has to, basically your insulin spikes and your cortisol has to take over to balance, try to draw that glucose out of your bloodstream, which is what leads to like insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes, which can incorporate like fatty liver disease, and or adrenal fatigue, which you talked about earlier, Heather. A lot of people come to you for hormone balance. What happens when you develop adrenal fatigue is that'll start affecting your testosterone and your estrogen and your progesterone levels, which, you know, we all know as females are really, really important hormones in our body, in our cyclical monthly cycle. So just trying to stay more balanced when it comes to sugar consumption in general is the goal. So
okay. That's interesting. And so I want to know more about like the psychological effects. So obviously, you know, the title of this blog post and this YouTube video is like, you know, Sugar Addict. And, you know, we're talking about how it really now, based on what you've just shared with us, it can be actually addicting for the brain. So, you know, tell me a little bit more. And Kirtley, I want to, you know, definitely hear from you on this, because I know we had chatted about this a little bit before. Just the psychological side of things, you know, can you tell me more about like how habits are formed? We talked about how healthy habits, negative habits, all of that. Can you just elaborate a little bit on habits?
Yeah, absolutely. So I first learned about this through The Power of Habits by Charles DUHIGG. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend you reading it. And so he basically goes through the habit cycle and what that is. So there's 3 parts to it. It's kind of like a triangle. You can imagine it. First of all, we have our trigger. Then we have our routine. And then we all do that because we're searching for a reward. And so if you start to understand, after you read this book, you'll really understand, oh, this is why my habits are this way. I can see myself. I can see my trigger. Okay, it's 10 p.m. And I notice that I'm feeling a little bit lonely or totally stressed out from the day. I want a break. So I'm going to go to the kitchen and grab some ice cream, searching for that stress relief, that relaxation. And so as you start to dig into understanding your habits and how you work, you're going to start to notice what are all your different triggers. And there are so many things that could be your trigger, but you got to start noticing them and becoming aware of them. What are your routines? Start recording. Okay, usually at 3 o'clock, I go down and have a cookie at the cafeteria. And then you try actually to figure out that reward. What am I searching for? Am I looking for more social time? Am I looking for a distraction? Am I looking for comfort? And so we kind of encourage our members to really understand how they work and why. And that will help them to break free from this trigger leash just through understanding yourself better.
That is, and I don't want to interrupt you, but that like mind blow. So repeat really quick, just the triangle. So you said it's trigger, remind me that triangle. Trigger,
Routine, then reward.
Okay. That is very interesting, because I'm even thinking of some of my own negative habits. I'm like, oh, yep, that makes sense. That's exactly what happens. Wow, that's interesting. I want to, somehow have a visual. Maybe I can create a visual or something on my blog for you guys. We can have like an image.
We can provide one as well. Something that is really fascinating about this triangle is that the trigger and the reward will always be the same. It's the routine or the action that needs to be replaced. So in order to create a new neural pathway in our brain, we actually have to change the action or the routine in order to get that reward, because we will always have the same trigger and we will always want the same reward.
Oh, now that's interesting. So that's how, and that goes into my next question about, you know, kind of going into kind of stopping the madness, stopping the cycle, right? And so, and I do want to make sure that I make note, if you guys could just really quick jot down, or even after we do our interview, please, if you could provide like a triangle image, maybe something you make, or if you already have something, I would love to post that for our followers, you know, on Instagram, on my story, you guys. I'll add that under the social beauty highlight that I have for my story. So stay tuned on that. You can always save that to your phone if you feel like you're, you know, noticing you're going in your bad habit, you're being addicted to your sugar. You can look down at that triangle, have it saved as your little screensaver, right? And be inspired by this whole conversation. So I will make sure to add that to my story. And again, I'll add it to the social beauty, because this is a social beauty post, since it's an Ask the Expert interview. And I'll add it to that section of the highlights, so it's always there. And I'll also put it in the blog post as well. But that would be great, Renny and Kirtley. I think that would be powerful. So yeah, you know, really going into, you know, stopping the madness, stopping the cycle. So, you know, what are practical steps we can do to do that?
Cool. So we have an acronym. It's called FUEL, F-U-E-L. And kind of Renny will popcorn and teach you about each aspect. But using these elements is what's going to help you take a holistic approach from breaking free from the sugar leash. So the first one is F, and well, F for fueling your body well. And let me jump back a little bit, is we want to remind you that everyone is different when they're facing their sugar addiction or sugar craving. Everyone's got different triggers, different rewards, different routines. And so we encourage you to become your own scientist, to start to understand and be watching and just observing. And then once you get your observation or your data, then you experiment and see, well, does this work with helping me feel more free? And so it's kind of like, this is from, what's the book? The Change Anything. It's an amazing book. And he says, make your worst days your best data. And so instead of just feeling so guilty that you ate sugar again or whatever, say, oh, this is a great opportunity to learn from myself and to see what I can do different next time. So we want to encourage you to get away from the guilt and just start into the self-discovery and curiosity. So going into our acronym FUEL, F stands for fueling your body. So if you can eat well and hydrate yourself well during the day, you'll be less likely to eat sugar when you don't want to. And so fueling, I like to eat every 2 to 3 hours. I eat 6 to 9 times a day based on just being intuitive and listening to my body. When I'm hungry, I eat, and I eat till I'm satisfied. And so that kind of breaks down to eating every 2 to 3 hours, small, whole meals. And then I drink a lot of water. I drink at least half my body weight in ounces of water. That's my goal. And that helps me feel really good. And I even start my morning out by drinking about 2 cups of water. And so that's
real quick, Kirtley, I just want to interrupt you on that, because I've heard that before, and I just want to make sure our viewers and our followers are clear on that. So the half the body weight, is that kind of standard for everybody? So if somebody weighs, you know, 120 pounds, that they should basically aim to ingest like 60 ounces of water, which is roughly about 64 ounces, which would be like 8 ounce, you know, glasses. Is that really, so if someone's 100 pounds, it would be 50 ounces. If they're 100, you know, if they're 200 pounds, they should, you know, aim for 100. Is that really the rule of thumb?
Yeah, that's the very basics. And it's not like crazy scientific, but that's a good standard to go by.
Great.
And so I literally just have this, and I kind of watch it. This is 74 ounces. And so it's easy to follow.
Nice. I love that. I might, because I'm actually weirdly, even though I'm a sugar, or I guess a sugar addict, I was going to say that, but even though I'm a health nut, I do not drink as much water as I'd like. And they have water bottles that light up that tell you if you need to drink water. And I actually might partner with one. I literally am talking to a brand right now about partnering with them, because they, you know, I was like, hey, I need your product and I want to share this with my followers. So that'll be a whole other thing, you guys. But I love that tip that you had. And I love that you have the one that has the full ounces you need for the day. That's great.
Yep.
Anyway, so keep on going with your fuel. This is great.
Sure. So another part of fueling your body well is cleaning up your environment, you guys. And so when you get hungry, I was just around a gal last night. She goes, what I used to do is I was hungry and I'd look in my cupboard and there was nothing healthy. So I shut it and I would leave, and then I would get hungrier and I'd come back and then just binge on everything in there. And so a huge part of eating healthy is cleaning up your environment, so immediately around you is just good, wholesome food. So when you are hungry, you can eat something healthy. Because if you let yourself go too hungry, you're going to start those cravings because your blood sugar is down. You want instant energy. And so having healthy food around is going to prevent your sugar dips And because if you get your sugar spikes from going overboard on unhealthy food, like Rennie was mentioning, your insulin spikes or your blood sugar spikes, your insulin comes and stores it away as fat. So just kind of interesting process right there. And then going on to the next part of our acronym for FUEL is U for understanding your body cues. I love this part. That's what took me so long to finally understand. And so this kind of starts with just awareness before you eat sugar. And I just want to say, I eat sugar, you guys. And I also, like Heather, I love sugar. It makes me so happy, but I know how to eat it now. So I don't feel out of control. I don't feel foggy brained. I don't lose energy. So first of all, when you crave sugar, we encourage our clients to, okay, stop, challenge, and choose. And that's an acronym, or that's a phrase by Dr. Anderson. He's an incredible doctor. And that just means, okay, I want sugar. Let's stop and just be aware and challenge yourself. So start asking yourself good questions. Well, why do I want it? Am I feeling emotional right now? Am I hungry? Am I actually just thirsty? Because often I want chocolate when I'm thirsty. And so I want to drink some water and then wait for 10 minutes and see if I still have a craving. If I do, I let myself eat sugar. It's okay. But I want to make sure I'm not eating sugar just because I'm mindless. And so then you ask yourself these questions, you get curious, and then you choose. And I don't care if my clients eat sugar or not. It's about the awareness, because then they have more control over their life and they can create more of their life. So asking good questions about yourself, and then also learning to replace a habit, like Rennie mentioned, in that triangle, all we want to do is change the routine, which is your habit. And so start to replace it with something. If you're going to take away something, you've got to replace it. And so maybe when you're stressed, you're used to going to get sugar. But now, why don't you write down the list of 3 or 5 things that you might enjoy doing instead, and have that on your refrigerator. And so you say, oh, I have a craving, stop, challenge, choose. And okay, I'm stressed, so I'm gonna go on a walk instead, or I'm gonna call my friend, or maybe I'll watch a funny YouTube video or paint my nails. And so we wanna get you changing your habit, changing your routines, and replacing that. And that'll help you understand yourself better and go forward that way. So
currently, I want to make this personal, because I have no problem. You guys know I'm like an open book. I share everything with my followers. I love my followers, and I will love your guys' followers as well. I want to just pick your brain on this really quick. So right when you say that, because a lot of people do go after sugar and stuff or whatever when they are stressed. I'm actually not one of those people. I actually sometimes when I'm stressed don't eat, because I'll just work and work and work, or do whatever I'm doing. And I'm one of those people because I love my job and I love my business and what I do. I can work for like 13 hours like it's nothing. But for me, it's more of a relaxation thing. So like when I'm done with work and I'm like, it's like the end of the day and I'm with my husband, I'm like, oh my God, I want brownie brittle, and I can eat the whole bag like it's nothing. Or I'll be like, oh my God, like for me, it's more like, it's a relaxation. It's a calm. I guess you could say it's de-stressing, because it's maybe after stress. But I don't want to take too much of your time. But just real quick, do you have a thought on that, or maybe even just like a suggestion if any of our other viewers can relate to me on that?
Yeah, and that's a huge thing that I see with my clients is at the end of the day, if you've got kids, they're finally in bed or whatever. Yes. And so that's the same thing. Start asking yourself, what else can relax? Because we're all searching for that reward. And there are other things that will satisfy that. And so maybe it can be, okay, instead of being in the kitchen with my husband, let's go on the couch and just talk, or let's have something to sip. You might have herbal tea as a sugar substitute. Or you could do foot massages for each other, or take a bubble bath or whatever. Just start exploring. And this is what has to do with the experimenting, is just brainstorm what are 3 things that would relax me, that could possibly satisfy what I'm looking for. And then you try it out. And so you do it and you wait 10, 15 minutes and think, okay, are my sugar cravings gone? And at first it might just be a mental thing where your brain's like, I'm used to having sugar, I have to have it. So do that action enough to really see if it is taking care of that reward, and your brain will start to shift and create new pathways. And so I just encourage that. Think of 3 things that might create that relaxation that you're searching for.
That is beautiful. And it's funny that you say that, because one thing, and I just want to share this briefly, because this is, again, personal. Like, I'm going through this, I'm cutting back sugar. I'm really, really proud. My husband, we're both, fit people and into health, but again, doesn't mean we don't eat a lot of sugar. And he's dramatically, not quite keto diet, but very, very dramatically cut back sugar. And he's lost weight, and he didn't really need to, but he's a lot more toned down because this is kind of his problem area. But something I have done, it's actually a couple things you just named, Kirtley, and that just goes to show how I can tell you work so closely with your clients and you're so personal with them, because I can tell it's made a difference for them. Tea for me, you guys, that's something that's really helped. And I do a sweeter tea, not like sweetened. I do more like a coconut chai. Even if it's black tea at night, it doesn't affect my sleeping. It's not ideal, but then I'll top it off with some unsweetened coconut milk. That's been very helpful. Bubble bath, like you said, and kind of like spa treatments is very helpful for me. The only issue I find with that is that sometimes it can be a longer drawn out process where tea can be very fast and to the point. You know, and then the last thing is there's actually a protein bar. I think it's called like Bulletproof or something, but it's a very low sugar bar that my husband discovered that's called like vanilla shortbread that I've actually done. If the tea's not quite cutting it, I'll do that with the tea. And we're talking, it has like, I'll have the link below, you guys, but I think it's like maybe, I don't know, 2 to 6 grams of sugar, dramatically less than, you know, brownie brittle or anything else I was eating. So keep that in mind. And you guys, I do have a video on different, it's different, what is it, like salt. You just look up above on my YouTube channel. I'll have a little link for it, but it's different, basically sweet treats or salty treats that can really replace your cravings. I've already made that video based on some of my, you know, tips and things like that. So check that out for other dessert options, but know that I'm even now trying to cut back even more from those options. So those are great if you're brand new to this, but I'll make another video probably with now this newfound awareness I'm having after talking with the ladies here and share some of my other tips that are going to be even healthier than those options. But check those out for now. Again, if you're just really new to this and you're getting started, so it's not black and white for you. Don't you agree, Kirtley?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, keep on sharing. This is great.
Also, eat those Bulletproof bars, and the sugars that are in there actually come from cashews. So it's from a nut. It's a carbohydrate that's complex, and it's really healthy for you. It's really
awesome. Ooh, I'm happy to hear you like those because we just started doing it
all the time.
Yay. Yeah, and we're gonna have to talk more, by the way. That'll be another video about the type of protein, the collagen protein on that, because I don't know a lot about that, and I want to hear more about it.
Eat or drink it all the time because it helps with stretch marks, it helps with wrinkles, it helps with repairing, you know, your hair, skin, and nails. I love that stuff. It's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, it is really like fulfilling. And by the way, they keep you full. So again, you guys, I will have the links on how, you know, where to purchase those below in the blog post in the YouTube. And then Rennie will maybe have to do another one of these about the collagen protein. So anyway, Kirtley, keep on going because I'm loving this. This is great stuff.
Absolutely. And quick side note too was at night, Josh and my husband and I used to eat ice cream. That was so fun, but we did substitute it with just banana and strawberry ice cream. And now I actually prefer that over dairy ice cream. And so just changing your taste buds is really cool. It's huge help. Okay, so the next part of our acronym is E for embrace your emotions. And so I'll popcorn that over to Rennie to cover.
Yeah, so part of this process of Stop Challenge 2 is to ask yourself questions. And sometimes when we're craving sugar, we actually might be experiencing an emotion that needs a reward, right? And I actually think this comes from possibly the way we were parented, or, you know, back in the day when you broke up with your boyfriend or something, you know, what did you do? You got together with your girlfriends and you went and had ice cream or something to make yourself feel better. Or, you know, some people will hand candy to their child to make them stop crying or whatever. And there's no criticism on any of those actions there, but I think it's very natural and normal for us to feel an emotion and say, oh my gosh, I want a cookie, or oh my gosh, I need some ice cream right now. So what we want people to do is when they're feeling that craving or they find themselves in front of the refrigerator, we want them to ask, am I blasted? And this is part of the Embrace Your Emotions acronym, part of Fuel. So BLASTED is actually another acronym for am I feeling bored, lonely, angry, stressed, tired, emotional, or depressed, right? And I know for me, if I am 2 of those things, my chances for eating sugar are much, much higher. So if I get tired and stressed in one day, especially if I've been on a long shoot or I'm traveling a lot and I just not had enough sleep, or I'm not prepared with snacks or anything, I am much more likely to end up eating sugar than not eating sugar, right? And if you find yourself in front of the fridge and you're like, oh, actually, I'm feeling angry right now, and try to go back into your day and find out, why are you feeling angry? Like, someone cut you off on the freeway? Did your boss get mad at you? Did you get in a fight with your husband? Did you break up with somebody? Like, what is that emotion that you're feeling. Why and where are you feeling it? A lot of people will associate emotions with different parts of their body. So some people, like, they feel it in their chest. They'll feel a tightness in their chest. Or we talk about having butterflies in their stomach. Or some people get really tense in their jaw. Some people experience headaches. Like, where are you experiencing this stress or this emotion in your body? And how then can we release that emotion, right? So we have so many tips and tricks on this, but some of the ones that we talk about that are really basic are deep breathing. So if you're feeling angry, and this goes back a lot to your yoga, Heather, just like if you can take a moment and even just in the car or in the bathroom at work or something, start to breathe. And there are so many different techniques on breathing. Something we like to do is box breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. Use your senses is another technique. If you can go for a walk and just start to be in the moment and hear the birds sing or feel the sunshine on your skin, or deep breathe while you walk. That's something I will do. Is there's some Kundalini breath work that you can do with your fingers, what are they called? Acupressure points or something.
Right.
That help just center your body as you're walking and be in the moment. And then journaling is huge. I know that we're going to lead into KIRTLEY has a story about one of her clients who was really able to overcome sugar addiction through journaling and being aware with her emotions. Do you want to talk about that, KIRTLEY?
Yeah, totally. So this was huge for her. This is a lady that had spent thousands of dollars on trying to overcome sugar addiction. So we started having journaling every single night. Instead of going to the kitchen, she would write. And she said every single night, I found out I was feeling something different, which was driving me to eat sugar. And so when she finally took time to be still and identify that, she could clear it. And so she got into the habit of right when she had a craving, she'd just grab anything to write down on. And so she was watching TV with her husband one night, and she just wanted to go to the kitchen and have some ice cream. So she's like, okay, I'm going to write something down. So she just grabbed anything. She had a receipt in her purse and just started writing. And immediately she found out, I am bored. We're watching this bear movie or this bear TV show. I'm so bored. So she looked to her husband and said, honey, would you mind changing the channel? And he's like, oh yeah, this is so boring. And poof, the sugar cravings went away because she was able to identify that emotion, and then she could find out what she had to do for it to clear it, and then she felt better. Kind of interesting.
I love that. That's awesome, KIRTLEY. I love the fact that, she's just bringing that awareness, and, something that I know my followers know this really well, and you guys all have links up above, but I have different videos on journaling and how to increase I had something over the holiday season about increasing your happiness with, a gratitude journal, right? And things like that. And so journaling is so powerful, you guys, for emotional balance, right? I've had different things on the power of journaling. So again, I'll have links for you guys, check those out, watch my other videos on that. But, journaling is so powerful because you're getting those emotions out that you're maybe kind of avoiding. And I always joke with my friends, and followers about what are you pushing under the yoga mat? Not under the rug, but what are you pushing under the yoga mat, right? And and if you push too much under your yoga mat, that yoga mat's going to get really lumpy. You're not going to be able to practice, So it's really important. It's what's under there and let it come out. And sometimes, because writing is my heart and soul. I love it more than anything. And, for me, that's really a really healthy outlet. So that's a wonderful suggestion, KIRTLEY and Renny, because, even for myself, as I'm thinking of some of my addiction things, I often will write maybe, during the day, but that might be a great practice to maybe start doing blog posts or things that make me feel on cloud 9 and connecting to my writing at night when I'm craving sugar as a stress relief. So that is a great tip. I love that. And KIRTLEY, I want to make sure that you're good, and I don't want to cut you off, but I want to be conscious of timing as well. Do you want me to go into some of the mindfulness with the 2-minute meditation, or do you have more to share about that?
Yeah, so I'll do the last part of the acronym, which is L, and then at the end. Yeah, so
perfect.
L for fuel, it stands for love yourself. Why try to be healthy if you don't care about yourself? You'll just see yourself going into yo-yo all the time. And so a few things to consider is, what is your self-talk like? Think about the chatter in your head. Are you a friend to yourself? And ask yourself, when you say something, would I say that to my best friend? Would you? And I came from a place of, I only said negative things to myself. I was putting myself down all the time. I thought it was okay because it's me, and how am I going to improve if I'm not hard on myself, which is totally false. And so we want to transition into saying kind things to yourself. So you can start out just by, whenever you say something negative, say something kind to yourself. You can start with mirror talk, which is looking yourself in the eye. This is actually harder than it sounds. Look at yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, you can start by saying a compliment. Hey, I like your hair. And just pause and see how it feels. Hey, nice eyes. And then you can move forward to saying thank you to yourself. Thank you to your body for being there for you, doing everything for you. And then move even further to saying to yourself, I love you. And let yourself actually feel it. And having that relationship shift to loving yourself is beautiful. And you'll see a lot of changes in your health and in your mental well-being and how you deal with emotions as you come to do that.
I love that. I love that so much. And I mean, that's just such it's all our followers know this, you know, that self-love and self-care, people used to think it was like this negative thing, or they used to think it was like this, you know, cocky thing or whatever. And what people need to remember is that, you know, any type of cockiness or any type of arrogance is really just insecurity, right? It all comes full circle. But self-love and self-care, you know, that's where everything just can flourish from, because you believe that, and then you can manifest the life of your dreams, because the universe is going to bring you what you believe, right? So Kirtley, that's beautiful. And I love that you're ending with that. That kind of surprised me a little bit. And, you know, I love that. It's great advice.
And the other part is meditation. And so is that just being still? You can call it still time. Sometimes the word meditation scares people away, and it used to for me, because I'm like, I'm not a yogi with dreadlocks or whatever. I started being still, and then I would just I'd take some still time and just feel my body, felt what my fingertips felt like, what my toes felt like, what my chest felt like if I was holding on to any stresses or any emotions, and then just sending love to my body or gratitude. And then I want to throw it over to you, Heather, with the meditation, because I know you have a 2-minute yoga meditation that you do.
I do. And I'm just so excited about this interview. I can't wait for everyone to see this. This is going to be, you know, I think it's just going to be so fun for everyone, because you're seeing how the body and the mind and the spirit is all connected. So you guys, like I said before, I am a certified yoga instructor with the Yoga Alliance, also a certified natural solutions wellness coach, in addition to, of course, skincare expert and professional makeup artist. So inner and outer beauty. And yoga is everything to me. You know, yoga is something that when I went through a really rough breakup years ago, before I met my husband, it was kind of like with my first love, I guess you could say, you know, who I had met in college. And it was very, very tough. We were together for years. We had been through some really, really very horrific things together, I guess you could say. Long story short, we were in a awful car accident, and we had rolled 4.5 times across oncoming traffic and landed upside down on the other side of the other freeway. My ex-boyfriend was life-flighted to the ICU. He was in ICU for 3 weeks and almost died. And I completely walked away. And what's interesting is I was actually into yoga before that already. The first time I had done yoga, I was 17 years old. I was a senior in high school. I had always loved it. I kind of consistently did it once a week. And, you know, when he and I went through our breakup, so kind of fast forward, because I was more like 22 when we went through our breakup, the accident happened at like around 21. And when we went through that, it was really tough because of all of, back to what the ladies were saying here, the emotions involved, you know, there was so much there. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, I can kind of go 2 different ways here. There's 2 different paths. I can kind of do a bunch of negative things and start to party too much and, you know, the promiscuous thing and all that stuff, which I wasn't interested in that. No judgment if you've gone through that, because, you know, to each their own, and everyone has to learn their own way, and there's no issue with that. Everyone has their own thing. But I went into it very conscious, and I was like, I really want to be the best version of myself, and I want to, you know, do what makes me feel the most fulfilled, and that was yoga when I was working in the cosmetic world. So I went through that, went through the process. And Kirtley, I love what you said about the dreads and all that, because I was the same way. I was like, look, I'm a girly girl. Like, I love makeup, I love fashion, I love style, I love empowerment, but I also love yoga. And I don't think it has to be this black and white world. And that really inspired part of the movement, right? The holistic beauties. So after I got certified, one of my intentions was, really to create yoga for the everyday person and for busy people, and not make it where, oh, in order to do yoga, like you need to be on upside down and you need to, you know, commit 3 hours a day, and you better not consume any sugar whatsoever, and you better just live on like kale and celery sticks. I mean, I wanted to be real with people, right? And I want to inspire people to live their best life, of course, but also be realistic. So I do have a 2-minute meditation for busy people on my YouTube channel. I'll have the link up above for you guys. Of course, you can just search my videos for it. So make sure you guys subscribe. And it's just fast, easy, and to the point. And you'll see in the video, and I have multiple other free virtual yoga classes on my channel. I have a 21-day yoga challenge on my channel, and each posture is only 60 seconds long. So it's really fast, easy, to the point, and it's for beginners. So I have a lot of good stuff on there for you. But with, you know, meditation, one of the main things you want to remember, you guys, is mindfulness. And it's kind of a big buzzword now. You see it on magazines, mindfulness. Mindfulness, like the ladies were talking about, bringing awareness to your body. One of the biggest bridges from pessimism to optimism, or from negative feelings, anger, depression, anxiety, to positive feelings, is gratitude. And if you come back to your gratitude and you literally just think to yourself, whether it's your gratitude journal, like I talked about, and where I share that in that video, you grab that receipt paper like KIRTLEY's client did, and you just write down 3 things you're grateful for. I talk about this more in that 2-minute meditation, but starting with your gratitude of what you currently have in your life, it's actually a mental shift. Like you are physically and, you know, psychologically changing something, which is going to help you to take a step back. To take that a step further, this goes a little bit more in depth, but I'll keep it brief here. When people emotionally eat, it's usually because there's some type of block going on in their chakras. And I'll do more information on chakras. I know you guys asked for more about it. I have a chakra interview I did recently. But your chakras, I wore orange for a reason, because we're going to talk about our orange chakra. Your chakras run all up and down the spine and throughout the body. And you want to just think of it as like the colors of the rainbow. So it starts with, you know, red at the very base of your spine, at your tailbone. It goes into orange, which is why I'm wearing orange. That's kind of your creativity, and starts to lead into your happiness and your fulfillment in your yellow chakra, which is kind of in the stomach area down here, the abdominal area, right? Emotionally eating, fulfillment. Then we start to go into our green chakra, our heart center, our connection with others, feeling, you know, connected authentically. That can also go into being seen. Our communication, our intuition, so our third eye, and then our highest version of ourself, our spirituality. So if your orange chakra, like my shirt down here in the belly, and your yellow chakra, and even your root chakra are off a little bit, you can really throw your whole body out of whack. You can't connect to the highest version of yourself if your foundation's not set, if you don't have those healthy habits in place. Does that make sense? So it's almost like, if you imagine doing a building, if you had a building that the foundation was all just like, you know, sand, and it wasn't anything you could rely on, but then you're putting bricks on top of sand, it's just going to topple over. You need to have it be really solid and really strong, so you can branch out like a tree and then help more people and help them to be their best version of themselves. And that's when people start to realize their callings and have more fulfillment and things like that. And that's where yoga can be so much more beyond just being upside down and having dreadlocks, right? So, you know, check out my posts and all that. I go into a lot of this, you know, all the time, because it's such a huge passion. But if we really just micro focus on the orange and yellow chakra, if you are not feeling fulfilled or happy in your life, in your career, in your relationships, in your physical look, in your mental, social, spiritual, emotional, you know, well-being, and in who you are, and you're not feeling confident, or you're just not feeling happy, you know, you're going to your 9 to 5, or you're going to your class, or whatever you do every day, and you just feel this lack of fulfillment, you are going to naturally seek things like sugar to fulfill you, to kind of fill that void. And that's when you can have emotionally eating. So like KIRTLEY and RENNY said so beautifully with all their tips here, you guys, they shared some really great practical, you know, ways to fill that void and to do it in a healthy way. But meditation can be very helpful for that. And then understanding, if you're doing that, if it goes beyond just even being bored, you know, what's going on? You know, what's going on that is not fulfilling you, and looking a little deeper. So there is the oil that we're giving away. This is the doTERRA 100% natural, you guys. You guys know I'm all about natural and, you know, going green and organic and all that fun stuff. And this is I want to make sure you can see it okay. This is the Slim&Sassy doTERRA essential oil. And you guys, it's really simple ingredients. There's no big mystery, scary thing here. It's all natural from plants. And it is just the, let's see, it's the Slim&Sassy Metabolic Blend. And its ingredients is grapefruit peel, lemon peel, peppermint plant, ginger root, and cinnamon bark. So if we break that down just a little bit more, you guys, and this is in the soft gels or the oil. The soft gels are simply just the oil. They're just pre-filled for you, so you can just pop in, take it with your drink. It's basically here, grapefruit helps to, you know, act as a natural astringent to the body, detox the body. It helps to boost the metabolism. People have heard of the grapefruit diet. That's kind of like a fad, but there are, you know, grapefruit can actually help you to detox. So that's why it's in here. It can actually be good for weight loss. Just not eating anything else. That's not going to be good for you. It also has, of course, lemon, same thing, natural astringent for the body, which is going to be great for detoxing excess weight. Peppermint and cinnamon bark. So peppermint, you guys, is great for mental focus. Rennie was just talking about mental fog and things like that when you eat too much sugar. So this is going to counteract that with mental focus with that peppermint oil. Cinnamon bark helps to boost the metabolism naturally by creating an inner heat in the body. And then that last one was the ginger root. Ginger also creates a natural heat in the body, boosting the metabolism, and helps with digestive health to help you to kind of release as well. So this is a phenomenal blend, all natural, and you know, I take it every day. I have it just for the sake of the video. I wanted to show you, this is the real deal. I do this every day. It's just my Yogi organic green tea. This is the green tea antioxidant. It's in glass because you want to do your essential oils with glass. And I just put my, it can range and I can guide the person who wins. But typically for weight loss and for cravings, you want to do anywhere from like 10 to 25 drops a day. It's all natural and it's safe. And I would say for major weight loss, more like the 15 to the 25 drops. When I lost 40 pounds, I was doing 25 drops a day. I now do more like the 15 drops a day, even 10 sometimes. So I wanted to kind of give you a brief overview, but this can actually help with some of the root chakra or the chakra imbalance that's going on as well on a physical level, but also an emotional level. But you want to start with the meditation, start with your gratitude, kind of be quiet a little bit, right? Go within, reflect on how you're feeling, and then use some of these physical things to help you to really make some progress. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you guys. Kirtley and Rennie, do you have any questions on that? Just because obviously I'm sharing my tip there, but does that make sense to you guys?
Actually, totally. I used to use Slim&Sassy all the time. A couple years ago, I kind of go through phases of what I do to, you know, deal with my cravings or whatever, but I used to not go anywhere without that stuff. And so it really works. And one thing I would say though, is that it can curb cravings, but if you're actually hungry, it won't stop your hunger. So just make sure that you're, you know, eating every 2 to 3 hours and staying hydrated with your Slim&Sassy.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's great advice. And you guys, I also have other oils that I ingest to keep my skin clear and things like that. So again, check out my other videos. I have a bunch of stuff on that because I swear by these things. Like I absolutely swear by them. We were talking about this interview, you guys. We wanted to give you amazing information, but also not make it where you're like, okay, cool, now what? So we wanted to have realistic action steps that you guys can take. Do you want to go into that, you guys, the action steps?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're here, you may or may not have issues with sugar, but if you do, these are sort of the basic action steps that we tell people to start using, which is number 1, clean up your environment. You guys, I love Oreos. I do not keep them in my house, okay? Because if I want an Oreo and it's in the kitchen, I will eat it, right? So clean up your environment. And we have lots of more information on our blog about all of these things. So that can more details there, but get accountability. Your chances for success in any type of goal that you have, whether it's getting off of sugar or getting up early in the morning, goes up when you have a partner or you have someone that you can turn to and say, will you support me in this? All right. It's like 90% chance increase of success rate there. So that's huge. Stock up on healthy snacks and alternatives. So get rid of the Oreos and put some apples and some dates and almonds in your pantry, okay? And we have a really fun little booklet that will tell you how to get, that's free, that will give you, it's called Sugar-Free Desserts and Snacks to Keep You Sane, right? Because you can't just cut out sugar and not ever substitute it, right? Do not let yourself get hungry or thirsty. So carry around snacks and carry around a water bottle, because if you confuse thirst for cravings or hunger for cravings, you're gonna be eating sugar, right? focus on what you can have versus what you can't have. When we say to ourselves, I'm not going to eat brownies or I'm not going to eat Oreos for the next month, then all you want are Oreos or brownies for the next month. So really start thinking about the things that you can have. For instance, I was actually at a funeral the other day, and there were tons of brownies and cookies provided for the luncheon. And then there was this gorgeous green salad with strawberries and goat cheese and nuts in it. And I was like, that looks delicious to me. I'm going to have some of that. I haven't had enough greens today. I'm so excited about this salad. Okay. Or a bulletproof bar, like whatever works for you, whatever makes you excited. Look, get excited about the things that you can have. Go for healthy, not skinny. You guys, when we start focusing on being skinny and that's all that matters, you're going to do things that are unhealthy to get skinny. But if you start focusing on your body and say, I want to have energy, I want to feed it with the best ingredients possible, you're going to start seeing results that will blow your mind and body away anyway. So we talked about changing your habits. So the trigger, the routine, and the reward. Choose 3 activities or distractions that can be quick and easy to do when you start feeling those sugar cravings. Okay. So call a friend, keep a journal with you, go for a walk, drink that water, whatever it is, choose 3 of them and just have them be your go-to. And then again, like Kirtley said, make your worst days your best data. So if you end up being really stressed and tired one day and you end up eating a ton of ice cream and you feel really bad about it, just be still for a moment and observe what happened and say, okay, so I didn't get enough sleep last night. I had a really, really long day at work, and just congratulate yourself for that. And then say, okay, what could I have done better? Maybe I did have Oreos in the pantry still, or maybe I stopped at, wherever, Starbucks and got a really sugary coffee drink or something like that to reward yourself for the day. Just observe what happened and say, okay, next time, what can I do to kind of rewire that or change those action steps? So, and if these things, if you start these things, you guys are going to come a long way. And if you find that you need help beyond that, we do have a 3-month program that's available that helps guide you through this so that you can be more in touch with your mind and body when you break free from sugar and develop that awareness. And we guide you through that step by step. There's more about that on our website at thesugarleash.com. And if you're not ready for a program, we do have a book or even like a meal plan that you can purchase at thesugarleash.com/shop. So lots of really, really fun things and free information there too for people to use as a resource.
That's perfect. And Renny, I appreciate you mentioning that, because that was my next question is, where can people get more information? Where can they purchase this information? So you guys, of course, I will have all the information, all their links, all of that below my YouTube video, below, on my blog, all of that. We'll be putting it all over Instagram. So you guys will definitely know where to find them. But they have some really, really great programs. So you guys, the last thing is the giveaway. This is exciting. So for free, of course, if you're like, I don't want to purchase, I want to get this for free. I'll have all the qualification details below for you guys. It's really, really simple, you guys. You're just going to follow me, which is at True Beauty Movement. That's on Instagram. And do remember, if you guys came from Renny or Kirtley, it's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. Okay, so True Beauty Movement. All the deets will be below for you, all my social media links. And for Kirtley and for Renny, it is at the Sugarleash. And again, I'll have all the details below. You're just going to follow us both, and we'll have more information on anything else you guys need to do. I'm going to probably have you guys like one of my pictures, probably the thumbnail for this YouTube video on my Instagram. And that's how we're going to know, in order to have you qualify. And then I will announce the winner on my Instagram, as I always do. So make sure you guys are following us. You can win these Slim and Sassy either oil or soft gels. I'll let you guys choose, and I'm going to pay for that. I'm super excited about it. So that is that, you guys. And then also the eBooklet. So Renny, do you want to tell them how they can get that eBooklet for you, from you for free?
Yeah, it's just go to thesugarleash.com. It's on our homepage. You'll see, if you scroll down, just say, get a free copy of our recipe booklet, sugar-free desserts and snacks to keep you sane, and we'll email it to you after you enter your email address.
Perfect. Nice and easy. And we'll have the information below for you guys. So you guys, we want to put this back on you. So I have a question for you. This is something I've been really inspired to do. Some of the YouTubers I watch that I love will put a question back on us, and I love to comment and interact with those people. And it really inspired me to do that. So I'm really working, and one of my intentions is to do that more with you guys as we're growing our True Beauty movement. So my question for this video, and of course you can comment anything you want. It doesn't have to be this. But my question for you guys is, are you addicted to sugar? I want to hear from you guys. Are you addicted to sugar like I feel like I have been? And I feel like I'm making huge progress, even though I'm healthy. Definitely felt a little addicted there. Also, how you overcame it if you did, or how are you trying to overcome it, right? Some of your tips there. I would love to hear from you, maybe even feature you as a True Beauty highlight on my Instagram story. Also, different, desserts and snacks and things like that. Like, what tips do you have for healthy alternatives that really help to keep you sane, so we can all really share and create this community together and all learn and grow from each other? All three of us, we're certified in what we do. We obviously have great credentials here, but we want to hear from you guys and create a community so we can all learn from each other as true beauties. So definitely make sure that you like this video. Make sure you guys comment below. Make sure you're following us, all that fun stuff, so we can really grow this movement. To me, you guys, this isn't just about growing our following, getting a bunch of likes, all of that. This is about having real conversations and learning from each other and being authentic, and hopefully having us truly create true beauties that are inner and outer beauties. Because when we all do that, I can hear my daughter's needing me. When we all do that, we're going to make this world a better place. And as cheesy as that may sound, it starts to have a ripple effect. And I think we can all agree we need a more true beauties like Renny and KIRTLEY in the world, right? So let's make sure that we're really supporting them. Follow them at the Sugarleash. Make sure you're following me at True Beauty Movement. Check out the deets below. Make sure you guys tag your friends so that we can continue to grow our movement. That's been one of the best ways for us growing, you guys. People are tagging their friends, and it's been really cool to see that. So thank you for that. And guys, I think that's it. Are we ready to let them go? All right, guys, I got to do it. Until next time, be balanced, be true, and be proud of you. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's True Beauty Quick Tip. If you like what you see, and for more confidence building tips on how to be a beauty from the inside out, remember to subscribe to our channel and connect with us at truebeautymovement.com. That's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. Love you guys. Until next time, remember, be balanced, be true, and proud to be you.